Have you ever wondered what your life would look like if you put everyone else on mute and turned the volume up on your own ambitions, your dreams, your passions? Imagine, for a moment, focusing 100% of your energy only on yourself in 2026. Would it push you to new heights, or would it tear something important away before you even realize it? Today on the Growth Mindset Project, we're diving into a motivational speech that reveals the jaw-dropping truth of what really happens when you put yourself first, maybe for the first time ever. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell. You don't want to miss future motivational speeches and life-changing insights. Let's create the best version of you together. So picture this. You're at a crossroads. You feel the pressure to keep moving in a direction set for you by others, by expectations, by what's always been done. Maybe you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, or just someone who's been following a path because that's what people expect. Have you ever secretly wanted to quit? Deep down, just throw it all away, step back and try something completely different. But you don't because everyone else says this is who you are. This is the moment you need to listen. Here's what happens when you flip the script and focus on yourself. The journey always starts with joy. Maybe you began your passion out of love, the simple thrill of the gym, the excitement of seeing progress, the small wins every day. But somewhere along the way, pressures creep in. Suddenly, it's not enough to do what you love. It becomes entangled with who you are. The identity, the titles, the accolades, they feel like oxygen. So you stick around because you feel you have to. But is it a real choice if you're only staying to keep others or your own old expectations satisfied? Think about how that shift happens. The love of the journey fades and is replaced by a need to keep up, by an attachment to results, to the admiration, to the sense of purpose that maybe doesn't even feel like yours anymore. You wake up one day, living out someone else's definition of success, asking yourself, am I really fulfilled? Am I still getting what I need from this? Or am I drained every day just keeping up appearances? So what do? You have to be brutally honest. You have to ask yourself, if it all went away, if the spotlight dimmed and the titles disappeared, would you still be whole, or would you crumble? This moment of truth is the beginning of focusing on yourself, not in a selfish way, but in a way that reconnects you with your own worth and happiness. It's about taking off the mask and realizing you don't need to be anything other than who you really are. If you're feeling this message so far, smash the like button and drop your experiences in the comments. Have you ever felt trapped by your own success? I want to hear about it, and so does our community. Now let's talk about the power hidden inside the journey itself. When you face setbacks, injuries, losses, heartbreaks, it can be easy to think you're done. Maybe you look at yourself in the mirror, feeling broken, convinced you can't possibly make it through. But here's where the real motivational speech begins. You are capable of more than you can imagine. The moments that test you the most, that seem impossible when you're in them, are exactly what unlock your best self. You don't find your greatness at the top of the mountain. You find it halfway up, when your legs are burning, the air feels thin, and you're asking yourself if you still have the strength to keep climbing. Every achievement is born out of pushing past those moments, not out of the result, but out of the discipline, courage, and effort you put in when you had every excuse to quit. And here's the shocking truth about focusing on yourself. The outside world celebrates the big wins, the headlines, the trophies, but the real fulfillment comes from the inside. The belief that you faced adversity and kept going. It's not about the applause or the expectations you once carried. It's about waking up and doing the work because you love the work itself. That's where lifelong confidence is born. But the pressure, it never goes away. It only changes shape. Sometimes it feels suffocating, like everyone is watching, waiting for you to prove yourself yet again. Sometimes it comes from within, your own voice telling you more is never enough. The gift here is perspective. Pressure is a privilege. It means you're in a position to grow, to push past your limits, to become someone new. If you can view the demands and expectations in your life as a privilege rather than a burden, you take power back. You get to decide what you want to create next. At this point, let me remind you, if this message is lighting a fire under you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your journey in the comments. We grow together here on the Growth Mindset Project. Let's bust a myth right now. Having a champion mentality is not about feeling unshakable at all times. It's about refusing to quit, even when every doubt and fear screams at you to stop. It's about acting, not because you're guaranteed victory, but because you know growth only happens through relentless effort. Champions aren't immune to hard times. They just keep showing up, day after day, no matter what the world throws at them. If you find yourself driven sometimes by a feeling of not being enough, you're not alone. That feeling can launch you onto a path of success. But here's the critical part. Don't stay there. After achieving those outward milestones, make space for compassion and self-reflection. True fulfillment comes not from the crowd's cheers, but from knowing you did what you set out to do and that you did it for yourself. Allow yourself to find purpose that goes deeper than proving doubters wrong or stacking up accolades. Here's a reality check for anyone still grinding at the beginning of their journey. Don't envy the routines or luxuries of those at the top. The champion you look up to now had to hustle without shortcuts, with sleepless nights, endless hours, and sacrifices you probably don't see. If you emulate anything, copy the discipline and the hunger, not just the habits of someone who's already made it. The messy middle, the unknowns, setbacks, reinventions, is where your breakthrough happens. What if, in the middle of this pursuit, life throws you off course? Injury, family chaos, loss. You suddenly question everything. Is it time to quit, or is it just fear and overwhelm talking? Here's what focusing on yourself in 2026 really means. It's the courage to pause, reevaluate your values, and choose actions that support your highest priorities, even when it feels uncomfortable. Sometimes the smallest step forward, like getting back to working out, sticking to a routine, even if it's not for a competition, can restore your sense of agency. Discipline is freedom. Each act of commitment that you choose, and not just because you have to, injects confidence, clarity, and well-being into your days. When you structure your life with habits that build you up, you multiply your capacity to handle whatever comes next. No, it's not always neat and easy. Real life is messy. At times you'll feel lost or directionless. That's part of the discovery. It's better to keep searching, to be a beginner again, than to stay stuck in a routine that doesn't serve you anymore. The more you experiment and adapt, the closer you'll get to true fulfillment. Maybe not the kind you expected when you started out, but the kind that feels real and sustainable. If you're wondering what to do when all the old motivations fade, hear this. Keep a constant in your life that you control. If fitness is your anchor, return to it. If it's reading, creating, learning, whatever it is, when everything else is chaotic, go back to that. Use it to remind yourself of who you are, regardless of achievements or setbacks. If you felt inspired by this motivational speech, make sure you never miss another one. Subscribe now, turn on notifications, and check out our other videos on the Growth Mindset Project. Your journey to the best version of you is just getting started.